fabulous. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy. I'm fabulous.
Young cat got back, did a little bit. Now we hardy, puffy, tough, do-rag and Tim's. Kinda hard to get a job back out on the block. Charge that to the game. Young girl, she grew up in a rush. Had it bad, no doubt. She don't know who to trust. Every man she ever loved only wanna crush. Charge that to the game. But it's all gravy. Hey, baby. Shots get popped, the cops shut down the party. Jeans sag low, blow smoke out of the chest. We've got a love for y'all, which y'all don't love us. So it's living us a bird and switching lanes. Spin up all I do and them chromey things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our kids and funny names. Don't hate on us, we're fabulous. Prepaid service for local calls. Yeah. Little dons and divas up at the mall. Said how she was a dime, so naive that she believed every single lie. 17, first time slipped up, about to have a child. Charge that to the game. Was just us and mom, single parent home. She did the best she could, did it all alone. Met a man, but he won't raise a child that's not his own. Oh no, oh no, no. But it's all gravy. Hey, baby, shots get popped, the cops shut down the party. Jeans sag low, blow smoke out of the chest. We've got a love for y'all, but y'all don't love us. Oh, yeah. Chromey things. Yeah, yeah. Our kids and funny names. Don't hate on us, we're fabulous. Oh, yeah. Service for local calls. Little dons and divas up at the mall. That's how we roll.
Good afternoon and welcome to Expose Under the Sun, brought to you by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm Sharon Dumas and I am your host. I am very excited to have two young ladies here today to talk about youth in our community, some of the things that they're doing with their agency, the Class Agency. How are you, Dr. Mitchell?
I am wonderful. Thank you very much.
Good. And can you introduce your protege here?
Absolutely. This is Miss Lauren Mitchell. She is our coalition youth leader
Okay.
for the Action Coalition, and Action stands for Active Coalition Influencing Outcomes in the Neighborhood.
Great. And tell me a little bit about CLASS. CLASS is CLASS. That stands for?
So changing lives and staying sober. So CLASS is the fiduciary agent for the Action Coalition.
Okay.
And the Action Coalition is a drug-free communities coalition whose sole responsibility is to reduce youth exposure to alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. That's what its purpose is.
That is great.
Yeah.
And it's real, especially now that they're talking about the opioid epidemic now and
Yes.
all the things that are going on. And I've seen videos of people, I don't know what drug they were on, but they were really, they were moving around a lot. And what, do you know anything about that drug? What is that drug?
You know, it's hard to say because
Okay.
different people's bodies respond to drugs differently, but there are a number of popular drugs right now on the market, these Mollies and these Percocets and the popular things that a lot of the rappers are glorifying and singing about
Right.
are what the youth are being exposed to. So it's the coalition's responsibility to really educate our youth and learn how to teach them to say no and mean no.
Right.
So
I see. And is there a specific area of Detroit that you work in?
yes, right now the Action Coalition is in the 48219 zip code
Okay.
of Detroit.
Okay, 48219.
Yes, 48219.
And do you have any plans of spreading that out? Is this where you're starting?
This is where we're starting. Ultimately, we'd love to partner with other neighboring communities to replicate a model that is proving effective in that area.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and so we're not limiting ourselves to 48219. That's just where our home and our start is.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
Miss Lauren, what do you think about all of this? I mean, being a youth yourself, do you find it to be a problem with young people that you know?
Yeah, I think drug use is a prominent issue everywhere, but in youth, because we're so impressionable.
Hmm.
It's like we follow whatever we think is the new wave.
Right.
And I guess drugs has been the wave for a minute now. Who smoke weed, who pop mollies, who do all of this crazy stuff. And so I feel like it is a big issue.
I know. I talked to one young man, and he was saying how it happens in the classroom sometime. Have you ever seen that happen?
Not in the classroom, but it happens in school definitely. There are a number of people that I know, I know for sure. They sell drugs at my school. They do them. People get busted for smoking in the bathrooms all the time. So it's like it
Oh, okay.
happens.
Okay, so they get busted smoking marijuana in the bathroom
Or
all the
they'll eat
time.
edibles and stuff like that. Like people get caught with drugs on them at school.
Oh, okay. So what makes you not want to partake in that?
My upbringing, I mean, pretty sure if my parents weren't who they were, I still wouldn't do drugs. But I think it mostly came with my parents. Both of them prevent substance abuse in different sorts of ways, and they work in the community. So they kind of brought me up working in the community, and all the things that they stand for. Even if I personally wanted to do them, I couldn't, because I wouldn't it's like a big disappointment because they stand for no drugs and
Right.
the upbringing and unity of our people and all of this, and that's just one of the factors that you know
That's wonderful. You must have some great parents.
I do have some great.
I bet you do.
One of the things that we did over the past 4 weeks was engage youth and have these discussions. And in week one, Lauren, we did talk about reasons not to use. Do you remember some of the things the kids were saying?
Yeah, a lot of them. Well, first of all, you could die, and nobody wants to die,
Okay.
like that. So, and then you could get very sick. It destroys relationships. It messes up your life completely
Right.
because once you use them, you can't stop, no matter how much you want to, without, of course, help.
Intervention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and substance abuse prevention, AA, and stuff like that. So it just messes up. You can't go to school if you're on drugs. You steal because you need money to get the drugs, and the things that drugs do to your mind, you wouldn't even be able to control it. The things that you're going through. So.
Right. Now, the interesting thing is that I don't believe you go to Detroit Public Schools. Many times they think it's not happening anywhere else but Detroit Public Schools. But, tell me what school system you're in. Where do you go to school?
So DPSCD, the community district. of
Oh, you
Detroit
do.
Public Schools.
You do go to community district. Okay.
Yeah, they changed it. So.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I didn't know if you went to school in Detroit or not. I didn't know. So, with you going to school and you're being around other young people, do you try to influence them not to do it, or do you just mind your own business, so to speak?
I don't have my own business. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I don't go to DPSCD schools. My school is in Detroit, but it's a charter school.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay, but you mind your own business, so you don't whip out the cards and the flyers and
At
the-
least
Cause
not
that's
yet.
because I mean I wouldn't go to somebody like if I saw them doing drugs or selling. I mean if I saw somebody doing, I'd be like, nah,
Come
you
on
know,
now.
like, right. But like if I saw somebody selling drugs, I mind my business because people do a lot to keep somebody's mouth shut these days. So I just keep my mouth shut on my own. I don't need no help.
So you don't even help keep your mouth shut. I understand that. I totally understand that. But we can drop a few flyers here and there, so
Yeah.
that once you leave that area, maybe
That
there's
is
something.
Absolutely our intention. So one of the things that we did with the whole purpose of this last campaign that we did with the Youth Coalition, because we do have a youth coalition, and Lauren participated, is we took a group of students from the 48219 area code and also in the Delray community, and we worked with them over a 4-week period to develop messaging for the media. And hopefully we'll get to see the PSAs that we develop with those youth, but also we develop print media, which we brought and shared with you today. And the idea is exactly what you said, that these youth can go in places and leave literature of children who look like them with positive messages.
Right. And I think that's so important because if you came or I came, it's like these parents, what they're doing up in here, and
They're not listening.
they're not
They
listening.
listen to each other, though.
Right.
And that's the goal. So that I'm very proud of Lauren and the work she did with the coalition and all the other students, too.
And how often do you guys meet?
So this past cycle, we met twice a week. with one group of kids, and we met weekly because that's all the access that we could gain based on sports schedules and stuff like that with the other kids. And we're looking to keep the children engaged, and we will continue to do the work. I'm not really sure if we'll meet weekly or monthly over the winter months, but we definitely have plans to keep the kids engaged.
That is great. So we're going to get ready to play one or two of the PSAs that you have.
Oh, thank you. That's exciting. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's exciting to have been able to do that with the youth as well.
It's amazing to step back and let kids lead because that's exactly what we did. The first week, the children talked about drugs. They answered some of the same questions that you asked Lauren today, and they talked amongst themselves. We sat back in the background and we watched them role play.
Okay.
They designed their own messages. They came up with their own hashtag, not worth it. And so just observing the dynamic and the connections that were built with just the kids leading and working together, it was very inspiring for me to step back even further and let them lead this campaign.
That is great.
Yep.
That is great. So how long are the PSAs?
Maybe 30 seconds.
About 30 seconds.
Yeah, about 30-second PSAs. We did about 4 of them. I think maybe you'll see 1 or 2 of them today. And then we also did a series of media cards with drug facts and statistics printed on the back to be circulated as well. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And give your contact information for us.
So my contact information is, my email address is km@eiw-dt.com.
Okay.
A phone number where I can be reached.
Repeat that, please.
Oh, km@eiw-dt.com. And then a phone number would be 313-744-2747.
Repeat that.
313-744-2747. And we're always looking for volunteers to do some of the community building work and community awareness work that we do as part of the coalition.
Okay.
So it would be nice to hear from your viewers.
Right. It would be nice to hear from the viewers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Lauren, are you able to go out and speak to other schools about what you guys are doing here? So if someone called and wanted you to come and speak to their school about what you're doing and what you've learned, would you be able to do that?
Yeah, actually, when I went to Atlanta over the summer as an advocate for class, I was they were teaching me how to actually go out into other schools. I'm supposed to be going to talk to some 5th graders about how to use medicine appropriately and not, like, OD on stuff.
Wonderful. We're going to go to the PSAs.
I pledge to stay drug free.
I plan to stay drug free.
I pledge to stay drug free.
I pledge to be drug free.
I pledge to stay drug free.
My name is Watson.
And my name is Mariah.
We're 12 years old.
And we're representing Old Redford Academy Middle School. And we're here to talk about drugs. Drugs are very dangerous and unhealthy.
And they can also ruin a relationship with your loved ones. Go talk to a family member, a friend, even a teacher, or you can go to a therapist, or if you need any extra help, you can go online and find all of those.
Hashtag not worth it.
So we want people to remember hashtag not worth it.
Yeah.
Those are great. So how long did it take for you to do that?
These kids rose to the occasion to get this done in just 4 short weeks.
Really?
Yes, we challenged them at the beginning of October to come up with a campaign that they thought other kids would want to hear. And our goal was to launch the media campaign for Red Ribbon Week, which was this past week.
Right.
And for your viewers that don't know, Red Ribbon Week is a national drug awareness campaign where a DEA agent who did a lot of work in the community that was murdered as a result of his efforts is honored as part of that Red Ribbon campaign. And so during that campaign, the kids take a pledge to stay drug free. And so in just 4 short weeks, they rose to the challenge and really put their all in this project. So they are to be commended.
They are to be commended, and they did a fantastic job, a really
Thank you.
fantastic job.
Thank you.
So if there's someone out there that would like to contact you, can you give your contact information again?
Absolutely. The best way to reach us is 313-744-2747. I'll repeat that phone number, 313-744-2747. And we'd love to hear from viewers about wanting to volunteer or having us come out and share our message as well.
Absolutely. And the name of the organization again and what it stands for?
The Action Coalition of 48219, and it's active coalition that influences outcomes in the neighborhood.
And that's through CLASS?
Yep.
The CLASS agency.
Yes.
Well, you guys are doing fantastic work. And why did you pick that zip code real quick?
So there was we did a study with the CLASS agency partnered with the University of Michigan and had students go in and do a needs assessment.
Okay.
And there was a lot of drug activity in the area and not enough places for kids to play and be engaged.
Okay.
And in fact, there were business owners in the area who mentioned the drug dealers were bringing their kids to work. So it was establishing a norm for the
Okay.
children to drug deal. So
Great.
there was a great need over there.
Great. And
Yeah.
Lauren, what would you like to say to young people out there as we close out?
It's not worth it.
Right. How you doing? Hashtag, not
it's
worth
not
it.
worth it.
So you have to remember that hashtag it's not worth it.
Yep.
Well, you've been watching Expose Under the Sun, and I am so excited to have had Miss Carla Mitchell and Miss Lauren Mitchell from the CLASS agency
Yeah.
and the work that they're doing in the community. I think is fantastic, especially with all the things that are going on with drugs. And make sure the parents remember not to leave their prescription drugs laying around anymore. We've been doing that forever.
Absolutely.
But now the young people are starting to take those drugs, especially the pain pills. So this was Expose Under the Sun. We look forward to seeing you next week.
I'm fabulous. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy. I'm fabulous.
Young cat got back, did a little bit. Now we hardy, puffy, tough, do-rag and Tim's. Kinda hard to get a job back out on the block. Charge that to the game. Young girl, she grew up in a rush. Had it bad, no doubt. She don't know who to trust. Every man she ever loved only wanna crush.